If you have a flat tire, there are many businesses that can fix it. But where do you go if you need to repair a wooden wheel? There are only a few places left in North Dakota that still fix buggy and wagon wheels. One of those repair shops is located off the beaten path near New Salem. Cliff Naylor reports.
This is Hoger Buggy Works. Dale Hoger makes old-fashioned buggies and wagons and repairs wooden wheels in this shop. He uses 19th century tools to handcraft spokes and wheels for people who still use horse-drawn vehicles.
There's a lot of interest. Even just this winter, we've had a lot of calls, people interested in if we got any units for sale or can fix stuff up for them. There's a lot of interest in it.
It takes about 100 hours to build a buggy or a wagon from scratch.
I've had people bring me in pictures of wagons and just little 3x3 pictures and says, this is what I want. And when it left here, that's what they had.
These are photos of some of the buggies Dale has built. He can fix a wheel a lot faster. It takes only a few days to build or rebuild one.
Usually what I get in here is something that's sat out in a rock pile or in a junkyard for 80 years and the wood just deteriorated away. Big culprit's just sitting in the dirt. The wood will rot away and you have to replace the wood.
Dale replaces parts using the same tools blacksmiths used 100 years ago.
What this is a measuring wheel. This actually came out of the blacksmith shop in Judson. It's like a tape measure but for measuring circles.
Dale sells his buggies to customers in Montana, Wyoming, North and South Dakota. This one he recently finished and is still in the shop. Once the snow melts, this horse-drawn carriage will roll on down the road. Near New Salem, Cliff Naylor, NBC, North Dakota News.
Well, how can something more than 100 years old be new? Well, in Montana, more and more cowboys who take their final ride into the sunset are choosing to be transported to the cemetery the same way that their grandfathers were, in a horse-drawn hearse. Cliff Naylor takes us off the beaten path to Hoger Buggy Works near New Salem to meet the man who is making this new trend possible.
The ornate, horse-drawn hearses that were used in funeral processions in the 19th century are again becoming popular modes of transportation for cowboys who are on their way to the final roundup. Dale Hoger has rebuilt many of the wooden wagons for morticians and funeral directors in Montana.
This is the 7th hearse I've had in here for local funeral homes from eastern Montana. This one's out of Wyoming, South Dakota, and there's been a number of them out of North Dakota. Rebuilding original hearses that haven't been used probably for many years. The demand for the old cowboys being buried in the horse-drawn hearse is, especially in Montana, where cowboy country is a booming business. They say they use them just about as much as they use the regular Cadillac.
When Dale is given a hearse like this one to repair, it's usually in pretty bad shape. The wood is rotted out and it needs to be completely rebuilt. Old-fashioned tools bring these wagons back to life.
This is a tendon cutter. It's for cutting the tendons on the end of the spokes. The tendon is what goes inside of the fallow, which holds the spoke in the fallow. And we've used the pointer to point it to make a starting point. And now we'll cut the tendon on the spoke.
Dale does all the restoration himself. The sanding, painting, and upholstery work take hundreds of hours. But when he's finished, the hearses look like they've never been used. These are pictures of some of the horse-drawn funeral vehicles he's worked on. Dale also rebuilds buggies and wagon wheels. He says this business supports his other occupation, which has become a bad habit.
That's what farming is nowadays, isn't it? It's a bad habit, more so than a profitable thing.
Dale runs about 100 head of cattle on his ranch and raises 70 acres of wheat. If you've got a buggy, wagon, hearse, or wagon wheel you need repaired, Dale can fix it. The number for Hoger Buggy Works is 701-843-8734. Near New Salem, Cliff Naylor, NBC, North Dakota News.